time in this afternoon to strengthen and talk about our community, how we can explore new opportunities and collaborate and grow together. Co-hosting today's gathering with me is our Mark, Midland African Chamber VP of Membership, CEO of Advanced Tax and SA and M4, Ms. Martin Quartier. So please help me to welcome her on the stage.
So Martine is running behind. I think I see her coming in. Is that her? But she's running a little bit behind. She just tested me. So I'll be Martine for now, Mohammed. So call me Martine until she comes in.
Well, again, it is an honor for all of you being here today, and it is a pleasure really. And first of all, we would like to thank everyone, and especially we would like to thank Pastor William for his generosity hosting us here today. We are grateful to him, and we look forward to hear from our panelists. Okay, and also we are so grateful for our distinguished guests who came from Ghana to speak to us on this occasion. So, Martin.
Oh, this is not. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So, like I said, Martine could not be with us yet. She's running a little bit behind, and hopefully she will be joining us in a little bit. But my name is Kawain Soko, and I'm the CEO of MAC. I would like to invite everyone that's kind of behind in the back, come on up, get closer. We have some seats up front. We are a close-knit family at MAC, and we love to just be close to one another. So come on up, let's get cozy so we can get to know everybody. Thank you again, Pastor Williams, for welcoming us to your space here today for our Umoja Unity Forum. As Mohammed has announced, we are really pleased to welcome Mr. Daniel Agboka-Dzegede here amongst our midst from Ghana today for this forum to explore the topic of doing business with Ghana. Welcome to all of you. It is a pleasure for me to have this event here in Omaha because I was in Ghana earlier this year in February, and I had the pleasure to be welcomed in his constituency in Ho, which is about 2 hours, 2.5 almost hours away from Accra, and I got to eat the best okra soup ever. Sorry, Nina. Ever, and got to meet some of the most warm people in that area of town, and that's when I met Dan. So it is really an honor for me to introduce him to Omaha and welcome him to our community today. So to tell you a little bit about him and read his bio, this is a short version of it because it's quite extensive here. But Daniel Agboka-Dzegede is the Executive Director of the Volta Development Forum, VDF, a pro-development organization in the Volta region of Ghana, where he oversees 19 committees focused on sectors such as investment, education, and tourism. He is also the CEO of the Volta Gate Estate, offering affordable housing in the region, and leads the Volta Gate Hospitality, a food processing company. Additionally, he is a partner in PATKUJ Ventures, a cosmetics brand. Dzegede's entrepreneurial acumen spans both local and global networks across public, private, and intergovernmental sectors. His extensive land investments for residential and commercial use have enhanced his business portfolio. In 2022, he was selected for the RES4 Africa Emerging Economy Program in Italy, sponsored by the European Union and the Italian government, where he represented Ghana and gained insights into intercontinental business. He also has been a speaker at the Siena Convention in the US, most recently this year in Denver, in the US, when he addressed topics such as investment and physical planning in Ghana. Please help me welcome Mr. Dzegede to our. Daniel?
Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. Chairperson of the Greenland Africa Chamber, the CEO, other executives, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege and honor for me to be among you this afternoon. I've been in the States for the past 2 weeks. I've been to almost 5 states. Actually, I was invited to be one of the guest speakers for the Siena Convention. Siena stands for Council of Urban Association of North America. What it therefore means is that in Africa, or West Africa, we have about 4 countries that particular tribe called Ewe spread across these 4 countries. So every year they used to meet in any of the states. They rotate it to the country. So it also includes people living in Canada. So the membership is about 5,000. So usually they invite very important people from Ghana or West Africa to come and on such program. So now, as the CEO have done already by the introduction, I'm an industrialist from Africa, specifically Ghana. Yes, I was invited to represent Ghana. Ghana has 60 states, but we call it regions. We call it regions. In America, it is states. So I represented Ghana in a way of trying to see the perspectives from the European side and then the African perspective and see how we can move as a country of Africa. We were 50 people selected, and I was lucky to be among out of 2,000 applicants. Now moving forward, when the CEO of the MAC was in Ghana, I happened to arrange a meeting. Then we met the governor of our state. The VDF is a pro-development organization that champions the private sector in collaboration with the public sector. The public sector is headed by the governor, then the private sector is handled by the Volta Development Forum. So basically we collaborate and work together and see how we can be able to bring investment to Ghana, and specifically Volta region. And that is what we have been doing for the past 5 to 6 years now. There were a number of people from the United States who came down to invest, and we assisted them because VDF is a special purpose vehicle. Special purpose vehicle that is a conduit to attract investors to Volta region. Now talking about my company, my private company, that is the Volta Estate. We are trying to put an affordable housing facility in the very good communities across the region. I was over 20 years now working in the States as a green card holder, and I decided to go back to Ghana to create our own worldview of America, a concept that we can have the better things that America has over here. And ever since I took that decision, I've never regretted, and I'm staying in that business over there. Now, Volta Development Forum has many professionals that we assemble based on your expertise, your specialty. and put the engineer course are there. The health and allies also have the committees. So anything concerning the region or our states or Ghana, these are people that advise. We have 5-member executive council, and it's chaired by one of the renowned Ghanaian industrialists, Dr. Prince Kofi Krudese. He was the first person to bring AT&T to Ghana in the middle 90s. He chaired the Volta Development Forum Committee. So I want to use this opportunity to engage all of you to see how best we can assist most of you who would like to come to Ghana to invest, and then in terms of the advice that we provide and opportunities in there. Because we have realized that American market is saturated, and you got to go out there to explore other opportunities that are within Africa that will benefit, especially the African and then African American living in America. That is why I'm here. So everybody should feel free. Let's Jojo in our English meeting at the back. You always say Jojo, let's talk. Let's talk and see how best we can see the way forward. And I believe after this meeting, many things will come out in terms of how to grab the steer for greater opportunities. Thank you very much.
Well, let's give them. Well, it is an honor really to have you here with us today. And thank you, Karen Super, for this opportunity. And now we will like to kick off our roundtable. With that, I would like to introduce Dr. Martin Williams. Please let us give a big hand clap for him. Dr. Martin Williams is a catalyst. He ignites leaders by challenging mindsets. His academic attainment includes a master's degree in leisure sport management and doctorate in biblical studies. Dr. Martin served as CEO and founder of Ambassadors Worship Center, a traveling multicultural assembly of leaders for over 28 years. He is the founder of Martin Williams International, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the development of individuals. Dr. Williams is also established in several other ventures, such as Dream Reality, the Curve Legacy Center, the Dreammakers Foundations, and various other social endeavors. Dr. Williams' principles have helped thousands find clarity in their assignment, develop mastery, and purpose in their God-given talent. So let us give a big hand clap again to him. And the next on stage is going to be Usman Isaka. He is a visionary leader and a dynamic entrepreneur dedicated to youth development, technology, educations, and community engagement. Originally from Ghana, raised in Chicago, he earned a football scholarship to Trinity International University and later moved to Omaha, Nebraska. As the founder and president, CEO of the Simple Foundation, Usman has spearheaded efforts to support underserved youth, including refugees and immigrants. His strategic leadership has led to significant achievements, including securing major grants, expanding foundation facilities, and creating an impactful program for over 1,000 youth annually. And before founding the Simple Foundations, Usman worked as senior project counselor at Union Pacific and led global systems projects at PayPal. And he is actively involved in several boards and committees. So let's give a big hand clap. And we, I don't know if Martin is here, not yet. Okay, Sam. And we also there was opportunity for Tiffany Gamble to join us, but unfortunately she traveled today to Ghana, so for that reason, she won't be able to join us. However, I think we would like to kick off now our discussion. So, the first question is going to go to our guest speaker at this point. So, Mr. Daniel, what are the key industries in Ghana that Nebraska businesses could tap into for potential partnerships and investment?
Thank you very much. Potential key investment areas in Ghana currently. One, we have the rice farming. I'll finish with the rice and to that. The Ghana government spent over $500 million to $1 billion on the importation of rice. Every annually, the Ghana government spends $500 million to $1 billion on importation of rice, which we have realized that it's time for Ghana to start cultivation or go into large-scale rice production to, take care of the chunk of the money that is being paid for this importation of rice. Why not feed ourselves? And I must say, my state is number one or the largest producer of rice in Ghana now. That's about 23 to 25% of the national production. That is Volta region leading. We have the perfume rice and variety of rice currently ongoing. Then secondly, we move to the tourism. The tourism potential of Volta or Ghana. Most of them are still at the raw stage. We need to rebrand most of the tourism potential and then put it on a global stage. So at the point that was this year, I called a meeting with the ambassador of Barbados. We had a meeting in January to take delegations from Volta, including members of the Congress, and then some of the mayors and the private sector, so that we go to Barbados to have, Barbados, they were able to brand their tourism potential to the world. And it's one of the leading income generating for the country. So we wanted to, create that kind of partnership with Barbados and see how they were able to brand their potential, the tourism potential. So those agreements are still working. I was in Barbados together with some of the mayors and the senators. We came back, so we are now planning to send a huge industry players in the tourism so that they will be there for 2 months to learn from the Barbados how they were able to create the industry on the world stage. Then we also have salt production. In West Africa, Ghana is the leading producer of salt. And salt has many uses. In the petrochemical industry, in food industry, it has so many areas of use. So salt is one of the things that we also, most of the West African countries rely on Ghana to provide salt. And my region is the leading producer of salt. So that is another green area for folks up here to explore. It's a vast, we have huge lagoon that produces salt in the southern belt of the Volta region. Then we talk about the fintech. The fintech and the IT. This is another green area that we want to make Volta region, especially at the hub in the sub-region. Then after that, another key area that we should look at is the aquaculture. Volta region of Ghana has one of the biggest lake in the sub-region, that's Volta River. It's a very big lake that we have, and we have the lagoons, we have so many rivers around that. So these are areas that we expect our fellows in America here to come down to explore, especially health tourism, where the normal the rivers and the lake we have that they can. Most of them are still at the roads, and a number of people are also coming down from the diaspora, coming down, and then for the African American communities, we want to create avenue for those who want to come back to the roots, to come and have the dual citizenship, give them a citizenship of Ghana, to live and integrate with our folks, all those arrangements to have this, so that they can live there as family, live there, do whatever they want to do. These are few things that we have. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much.
Sorry, I forgot about my area. That is the estate. The real estate is another very good business area in Ghana now. In terms of the risks, it's very minimal. Most of the affordable houses averagely $75,000, $105,000 and above. So the demand for affordable housing is increasing. Yeah, it's increasing. Thank you.
Again, thank you. And I think it makes sense. Rise, food security is something that we all know that is a vital component of human development, sustainability, and all this stuff. On this stage, then we will turn to Dr. Martin Williams to give us, as a leader, someone who is, we just hear his resume is bulletproof. People say it like that. So we would like for him to speak about his ideas, give us a few things, ideas about businesses that he himself thinks that he has worked, he has an experience in it, and he thinks that it is an opportunity to tap in terms of building bridges between Ghana and Nebraska in terms of business.
Thank you so much, and thanks for the invite, Mac, Midlands African Chamber, and welcome to the center of the universe, Daniel. Omaha, where things happen. So we've been studying Ghana. All of us have been reading about Ghana, even on TikTok. We're learning about Ghana and its asserted effort to do business, especially with the West and especially with African Americans. So I think the heart is really there. So I really think this is the right move for us. As part of the iHub that we are launching at this particular time, which I'm the president of, we are looking for ways to attract the best and the brightest of us from around the world in innovation. So this is the right time, I also believe. Here's what I think. The importance of this, and my wife and I and our for-profit company, our real estate development company, we do lots of building affordable housing in the Toronto area. And we made some mistakes there, but there were some big things we were able to take care of, in which I think for this to really work, we really need some relationships on this side of the pond that are already doing cross-border banking, cross-border business. In other words, our law system has to match your law system. There are a lot of Americans now who are moving to Ghana. We've had some clients that's done that. We're also thinking about building something there, doing something there. The question is, are there lawyers here in America that work with your lawyers there? or there are city planners here who work with your city planners there. So those relationships across the border deals with all the legalities, deal with all the mishaps, deal with all the issues that could happen. Is there anyone in our country and in your country that have been working together? Number three, I really believe that Ghana gives us an opportunity to build wealth here in America and wealth in Ghana. So I'm really excited to hear more about this, to plug into your any of your national meetings that are going on, to answer any of these questions and collaborate. I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Usman, I would like to give you an opportunity to also give us ideas about some of the businesses that you think that it is marketable or it is profitable, and it can be a liaison between Ghana and Nebraska, and also it will cultivate those young entrepreneurs in our community to shift the idea in terms of building bridges with Ghana, in terms of promoting businesses and entrepreneurship.
I think the position I sit right now is just sitting between, because I'm Ghanaian. I grew up in a small town, Newtown, in Accra. I'm Hausa. My mom is Ghana, Onoga. Onoga, feel. So Ghana is pretty much similar language where in various different places they speak as a common language. But I've been to Hope. So I've played football, so I had a lot of friends that played professional football. To go to Hope, to go to the Weefalls, the waterfalls, the tallest fall in Africa, and go climb the mountains. The tallest mountain in Africa. So combining or engaging some of the professionals or within the U.S. to kind of understand that all the perception what you see on TV or whatever that's been socialized is not really true. There's tons of opportunities. And when we, from Accra, which is very metropolitan, very busy. I mean, our downtown in Accra look 20 times of a downtown in Omaha. But when you want to escape and when you want to breathe the clean air and enjoy the nature, you go to Hope. You go all the way to the Volta region. So personally, I've done some real estate in Accra, in East Legon, in Continent, the airport residents, and looking at even the Shy Hills. So from my stated point is you make a very important statement in the call out. That has been the struggle of Americans who will want to invest. It's like throwing your money over the wall and hoping that it's going to flourish in what you want to do. So I think there have been Ghanaians and from a business perspective have been a lot of putting some of those things in place. And I sit on both sides because I travel to Ghana at least 3 times a year. I'll be going to Ghana right before the elections, December 5th. So it's going to be a little bit chaotic. DNC did a demonstration yesterday. So it's a whole thing in terms of politics. So I am connected. I've known some MPs, which we call the members of parliament, who can help you navigate. But again, when you do business in Africa, and when you do business, even sitting in the state of Nebraska, you're doing business in Illinois, there's some nuances, right? So I think just being able to understand and have those conversations and making sure that we have those things in place. I have a lawyer in Ghana. I have a real estate agent in Ghana. I have employees. I have probably about 10, 15 employees that do various different things and so forth. So I think you talked about the opportunities in agriculture. I know rice is very important for the region. Shea butter, cocoa, moringa oil, which is like very advantageous and very, I think the US, they look at, it's the new black gold, you know? So those are some of the things, and I have a foot in both of your perspectives, because I go to Ghana, I'm Ghanaian, I know how to move around, but again, I came by the age of 8 years old in the US, so I know how the structure in terms of business and how to make sure that investments really provide that true ROI that you're looking for.
Well, it is very insightful and informative discussions. I mean, getting us to know what Pastor William just mentioned, the legality aspect of it. How can we build a relationship between lawyers that can try to bridge those gaps between the legality aspects of Ghana and that of Nebraska? I think that will help curve out what Usman just mentioned, the security of the money where you're putting. You have to be secure. You have to know that you're not throwing it at risk anyway. So we will go with the next questions, and I know very well the time here. We are monitoring the time. Mr. Daniel, I would like for you to give us some advice and some recommendations about the Volta Development Forum, how it is facilitating international business opportunity, and how we in Nebraska here can try to tap into those opportunities through your route.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Volta Development Forum for almost 5 years now. There were a number of business companies that we advised and assisted, because the aim of Volta Development Forum is to champion this collaboration. I must state on this table, about 2 years ago, there was this gentleman who currently working with the US State Department of Agboka, who recently, trying to come back home and invest in Africa, that is Ghana. And he tried to go into pottery. And, he was trying to be smart because maybe he knows Ghana. So he went and acquired some land, without seeking advice from the necessary organizations like VDF. So he went, and then there was a problem. And he was advised to come to our office. Then he came, and within a matter of, 3 days, we were able to resolve the problem. And this guy invested so much into pottery because one other factor that affects Ghana economy is the importation of frozen foods. Most of our frozen foods are from the US and Brazil. Most are from we import a large quantity of frozen food. So this gentleman invested about $250,000 into the project, started doing all that. There was this problem. So we have to intervene to find out what was the problem, and at the end we realized that he's got money, he's coming back to Ghana to invest, and then because he was looking for cheaper means of acquiring that facility, the land, we rather get into a wrong hand. And in fact, at the point this project will not go on, so we intervened. I managed him. We went to the regional the commissioner of the police of the state. We went to the regional minister. We sat down. We invited the two parties, and within a matter of few days, we resolved that. And the guy was like, he never knew there was a good organization like this that can champion people who are coming to invest in Ghana. So we took it up there as a way of educating and doing the publicity to let more people know, because he was not aware of our organization so much because he doesn't listen to Ghana news and all that. And basically he's from Ghana, so he thought, I'm dealing with the family, I'll be free to do something. So we were able to do that. There was another guy who also came down from the US. He is going to get a big time recreational facility where they have the helipad, they have various tourism potential in there. He also came, we advised him, he wanted to do it somewhere, we advised him to go this way, do it this way. And now his company is now one of the successful districts in Ghana now. It's even exporting to American market. Praise food, they import these palm products, and they export every 2 weeks to American market. They are exporting it 2 containers to American market. It's because of the advice we provided. VTF has, as I indicated earlier on, we have many professionals that provide advisory services. The engineers are there to provide the services at a very reasonable price. If you talk about the lawyers, we have the committee for the lawyers who are, very good lawyers in Ghana that provide the services that one coming down to Ghana require. You don't need to struggle to go and get anyone anyhow. When it comes to the health side, the same. Then the Investments and Trade Committee of the VDF is chaired by one of the experienced industrialists in Ghana, who was in the UK and came back and established King's University. Has the biggest transport in Ghana, Kingdom Transport and Kingdom Food. He is chairing the Investments and Trade Committee of VDF. Then when it comes to the public sector, we have the senators who are part of the Volta Development Forum. We have the mayors who are part of the forum. So when it comes to investment, it's all hands on deck. So wherever there will be a challenge, we are able to chart a way out. So it's a way of collaboration, public and this thing. So all the expertise are available at VDF, so that instead of you coming down to have a headache in trying to do something, and then, in every society there are burnouts. In every country there are burnouts. So the best thing for you is to where to step, so that you can have a very good, successful business. There was an incident. There was this African American Rastafarian and wife. They took some chunk of money and come back to Ghana. They want to settle in Ghana and do their business. They went into pottery. So at the point there was this guy, I don't know how they managed to get the guy, maybe through the net. It was through the net, and they were able to talk, and they came, and then they invested part of their money into this project. Then at the point, this guy managed to swindle this couple, and they went and lodged in some hotel, and then complained to the hotel owner. And the hotel owner said, "Look, I have an organization, executive director that I can call to intervene in this matter." So I was called. And in fact, when I met this couple, I felt sad. So why? If you want to do something, why don't you pass through the right process? And they were like, oh, they met this guy on the net and he invited them, this and that. So no, you don't need to do that. If you want to do something, find the necessary organization, a very reputable organization that will advise you to know how to step in. And they were like, the guy was giving them good, creative, the kind of messages that wounded to Ghana. You see. So eventually what I did was that I called the commissioner of police. I said, this is what is happening. So they have to go and arrest the guy. The guy ran away, but he was finally arrested. He took the man's money, their cars, and then go on to know where the guy was. So eventually we were able to get this guy, and then the matter was resolved. They collected the car, they collected the money that part of the money that the guy due. So these are some of the incidents. These are some, and I became family to the family. I became part of the family now. The masterman and the wife, they're like I'm their Messiah. So they're very close. They come to me, we share ideas. They said they wanted to bring their families, more families back to Ghana. So VDM, these are things we do. I always create another environment for those who are coming to protect their investments. To protect their investment, because if you don't do that, how do we bring more people to our region or in the country to come and invest? The good thing we have to do is the integrity. The integrity is paramount in everything. When you do that, people give recommendation, people talk well about you, then that's it. You are good to go.
Well, thank you so much for that insightful idea. And it is an opportunity for me again to introduce to our panel, Martin Cote. So I will give you the floor to introduce yourself and give us a brief introduction.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And my apologies for being late. And then also my apologies. My husband's supposed to be also on the panel. He's not feeling well. So I am going to try to fill in for him if you have questions. But again, my name is Martine Corte, and I'm a business owner in Omaha. One of our businesses is that we take groups of people to Ghana, West Africa. It's S&M Tours. So my husband and I, we co-own that. And my husband's from Ghana, by the way, so that's the connection. We started doing that about probably almost 9 years ago with one person. One interested African-American that wanted to travel to Ghana, West Africa. And in fact, she went with us every year up until she developed cancer and she could no longer travel. So she went with us about 6 times. So as the years went on, our group grew. This last trip was right before the pandemic. We came back in January of 2021. We hosted about 9 travelers. It was my passion that started the tour. I started traveling with my husband, and I fell in love with Ghana. Ghana is a coastal country, so being landlocked here in Nebraska, all I wanted was beaches. That's all I wanted was water. I wanted great weather, which they have great weather year round. And we don't. You know, winter times are harsh, and you get to a certain age where you kind of get tired of the winters. But I wanted to make it my mission to learn more about the country because that was where my husband is from. And as I learned more, I studied. I am just that kind of a nerd person where I will learn everything about that culture, the country. I'm an avid traveler, so it was something I already liked doing anyway. So I turned my passion into a business, and I wanted to take other people with me so they could experience what I was experiencing. It wasn't just enough to just tell them and show them pictures. I needed to take who could come. And being African American, we have our issues here in America. And a lot of African Americans are traveling outside of the country for better life, being treated better, because there's a lot of racism that African Americans feel they deal with here in America. And so to get away to the homeland, the motherland, was something that they were seeking. And so with our trips, we wanted to afford them that opportunity to go and see for themselves what life was like in Ghana, West Africa. So like I said, we've been doing that for 8-9 years, and we've actually have piqued the interest of a lot of our travelers. Some of our travelers are business owners. So for an example, you may know her, Madalena Mickles. She was one of our travelers. I didn't know she was interested in going. She popped up in one of our, we do meetings, informational meetings to kind of share what to expect when you're traveling. to Ghana with Africa. She just popped up, and I already knew her. But I said, well, you want to go to Ghana? She's like, yes. I said, okay, well, all right, well, here's the presentation. So she's in culinary, she has her own restaurant, she's a caterer. And so she traveled to Ghana with West Africa with us, fell in love with the country. She in turn took the culinary, let me just back up real quick because it's a story, but I got to tell this part of it with her. We curated a culinary experience for her. We did that intentionally because of her background in her business, being a restaurateur and caterer. She was able to cook alongside a Ghanaian on a beautiful, beautiful bed and breakfast on top of a hill. It was a big white mansion. It was absolutely wonderful. And so they prepared a meal for all of us travelers, and she fell in love. She cried. She really embraced the opportunity that was extended to her being a cook, and it's just a passionate thing when you can intertwine what you love to do into another culture. So she in turn created a business, I believe in Nigeria. And so she extended her experience with our travels and the connection we did, we put together with the Ghanaian restaurateur, bed and breakfast individual, and extended her creations of, beyond that. And so I'm just so happy that she was able to do that. And that's the twofold of the trip. When you're a business owner, we try to cultivate an experience for you in case you want to do business in Ghana, which is, we're talking about that today. So back to our travels, that's not the only business that we have in Ghana, my husband and I. We don't talk about other business a lot because it operates on its own. So we have a storage business in Ghana. So we have 3 bays, and we rent those out. And so we use the money from that business to build our residence. And so it kind of operates its own, so we forget about it. But we wanted to have another way to make money in Ghana, being from America, being African American, and give back to the community there. So there's a lot of need for storages, a lot of need to have a place to put your things, just like here. It's the same business model, but in Ghana. And so anyone can do that. If you can find land, you can build storages, it will get rented out. And the way they pay for things is mind-blowing because they have to pay for it like 3 years in advance, like all of it. I'm like, okay, wow. Here, we rent them out either by a month or whatever terms, but over there it's a lot different. So learning those different intricacies about doing business in Ghana was something that was of interest to me. Every culture is different. And so being a business person, that was something that I could take back and I could teach other people. If you're interested in storage business or any other type of business, these are the things that we're trying to learn so that we can do business, abroad, whether it be Ghana, wherever. But we have found an opportunity to go beyond Omaha, Nebraska, and into the Ghana culture. I've learned a lot about the culture, and so I speak a lot of times about Ghana. In the beginning, I was always talking about Ghana, always, to help build our travel business. And we have a waiting list. Every week, we're going every other year, and so now it's a yearly thing. And so there's more and more people that are ready to go to Ghana. If you guys recall the 400 years, a few years back, there's been this movement of African Americans in the diaspora traveling to Ghana, West Africa. Celebrities have gone and traveled. They take their friends with them, and it's just been an entire movement. Our trips are called Back to Our Roots, Ghana, West Africa, because we are going back to our roots. If you feel that you are a part of the motherland and you're from there, then we are going back and we're learning about our history. We're going to the slave castles. I've been there multiple times because I take the groups every time. That is a must stop if you travel to Ghana, West Africa. Any coastal country on the motherland, they have slave castles. So that's definitely a trip worth taking if you can. It's a spiritual movement, to be honest with you. But anyway, I don't know how much you want me to talk or say, but okay.
So much.
Incidentally, though, I just want to chime in to say you shared about Natalina. Natalina catered our networking refreshments today, so everyone will get a chance to taste her food.
I will come back to you on the sister city if you have any views, and I would like for Kareem to chime in. But before that, I would like to come to Pastor Williams and ask him. We hear from Daniel, our guest speakers, about those opportunities out there and what are some of the vital roles that they play by his organizations in terms of picking roles for those that want to invest in Ghana. So, as a leader and a business oriented person, we would like to know if there is any advice, one or two advice that you can give to us that are willing to invest in Africa, not in Ghana, but in Africa in general. What are some of the advice that you might give us?
Thank you so much. I guess here are the 5 things the questions that I ask myself in my own head when I'm thinking about writing a check, whether it's for 50 cents or $50,000. And that is, especially when it's across border, when it's in a different country, I have to ask myself, what's the legal path to this? The legal path, because I don't want to get into a litigation battle where now I have to come seek for your nation, seek for your company. So number 2, that's what we really need. We need one company from Ghana that brings all the other companies together that can represent that to us. When that happens, everything changes, trust me. Number 3, we need some examples. We need some American, Canadian examples of people who've done business with Ghana. And we can sit and talk to them. We can talk to them and they can tell us what the gaps were, what the issues were. They'll tell us about those great relationships help when we have those examples. And what are the partners? Our particular bank was contacted because there were lots of Americans who were going to Ghana and building houses, but they would have to do it with American dollars. So a banking partner that does cross-border banking would be amazing, so that mortgages could be carried here in America. If the mortgages for land or land development or houses or affordable housing, whatever it is, if those could be held here in America where there's an SEC, FDIC, a government agency, and those lawyers and real estate developers have worked out a relationship with Ghana, that makes the pathway easy. And I'm telling you right now, there are literally hundreds of billions of dollars that's ready to do business with you. There's a lot of money in America that wants to do business with you. It's just that these things are very important. The partners, banking partners, law partners, real estate partners, whatever that looks like. And then lastly, the gaps. Whatever those gaps are in building those relationships with Americans, having a particular maybe consulting company, I don't know, but someone who sits in that seat that brings us all together, that would simply be huge. Now, I'll add this as well. The question that comes up is, how are all of these companies, are they investable? How are they governed? Who leads them? Who owns them? Have they had any other investors in them? If you know what I mean. And quite frankly, I'm jealous of you that's gone to Ghana. We just had a few people go to Ghana and it was just amazing for them, but I haven't been there. But how tourism, rice, affordable housing, salt, fintech, IT, water, and especially diaspora, Black people going to build there. Which one is the low-hanging fruit? Out of all the other 5 that I asked about, which one of those has the connections, the relationships, the testimonies? Because if we can find some of those and those become like unicorns to us, they worked, they were beautiful, people made money, that's where we jump on here in America. Now, lastly, when we, I didn't know I was speaking in this, but I thought I was going to be sitting out there. But we're trying to get investments from the poorest segment of our country. We're trying to get investments from Black and brown people, or from people, period. But so when it comes to people, period, I think that might be the low-hanging fruit. And that's why I'm bringing up these systems. But when it comes to Black and brown people who are literally the least advantaged or having cash that's ready to risk cross-border, it's going to be a different marketing campaign. It's going to be a different system. It's going to be something different. So saying all that, I'll say to you, Daniel, welcome to Nebraska where things happen. So in any way that we in Nebraska and the team that we're pulling together, Corinne, if there's any way we can help with any infrastructure, with answering any of those issues, I'm totally on board. Because when we answer those for Nigeria, we answer them for South Africans, we answer them for the entire continent. And I just don't know of any place in our country where we can go and get these questions answered. So we can get those answers so that you can really build a pathway and a marketing campaign for those investors. I hope that wasn't too much.
Thank you. I think I will, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that. So I think when we talk about investing for profit, I think it's very key and very important that we think about impact and value add, right? I have an NGO in Ghana. Yes, I want to make some money for my for-profit, but at the end of the day, if you go into the community and you talk about value add, provide opportunities for folks within that village or area for employment, career pathing, and a way for them to be able to provide for their families, that's key, right? The other piece is we have to always approach it from a very, I won't say charitable and philanthropic way, but you have to make sure that, yes, you want to do the business. This is awesome. I got several businesses, I stated earlier. But again, one of my key, how I'm able to get contacts and connections, but it's not because I'm doing it for it. It's through building boreholes. I've built over 50 boreholes in Ghana. And boreholes to be able to get clean water. So, I mean, I do it for a village, boom, I'm gone. So someone called me the Rasta. So you go to the hole and all this, the Rasta line. But it's one of those things that it provides my country a way that we can be able to begin to understand infrastructure and feed ourselves, right? And begin to understand where's your thought in terms of the business acumen, in terms of how you build a business from idea all the way through implementation. You do the loop around with lessons learned and all these things. When I build these frameworks, I set it up and I set it up for them. So I'm also speaking for a person who's lost a lot of investments too, right? Because I didn't do it the right way, right? Because I go by trust. I mean, I'm the type of person, I got a master's degree, I've done accounting, economics, and all these other stuff, software development, and so forth. But when it comes to people, sometimes I don't use this, I use my heart, right? And when I use my heart means sometimes you take L's. And it just recently I had to change my whole banking system to a new bank because I just gave more of my account information to family. And some happens to get, y'all know about our families, right? We love them to death, but you know, that's the way it is. But all the lessons learned. I mean, so to your point, that's very, very critical that we put things in place. In addition to one of the things that just this year. I mean, I've been doing this so long, but what he just called out is having the professionals on that end to be able to do the professional work that you're paying them to do versus just send them money and it'll happen. So the whole piece is I think I want to make sure that we stress is make sure that, yeah, we want to do business, but make sure you figure out ways to add some value add and build these relationships and build people up too as well. And to your point of the black and brown, I think about collective investment, community investment. Doesn't necessarily mean, hey, we need $5,000 from everyone in here. If you can give $100, if you can give $50, you are investing and you're buying into whatever we're investing into. If you can do it on a monthly basis, we set it up that way. So I have several businesses I set up that way to say, hey, you are an owner of this Shea Butter Farm, or you are owner of this, or you are owner of this estate and so forth. So don't feel as if you're small. And right now the cities is horrible. It's 15 cities to $1. The worst probably in the whole continent. But understand that whatever you have to invest, it will be a value in the build for it. So other than that, I wanted to say I apologize. I had to leave. I have another meeting, but I want to continue this conversation another time. So thank you.
Thank you, spokesman, and it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you. And I will, the point that Pastor William just mentioned about the fact that there is millions of dollars out there to be invested in Africa, in Ghana. I think I would like to use that as a segue to remind you about some of the opportunities out there. Like you have the State Trade Expansion Program. That is a program that Department of Economic Development, they receive grant from U.S. Small Business Administration, and they try to sign grants to people, small businesses that are residing in Nebraska, but it is based upon reimbursement. So if you want, we can share those information with you later on. And I would like to go to Martine and ask her about what's your idea about the sister city between Omaha and Ghana?
Thank you, and I apologize. I'm going to have to apologize. I did not greet you. Welcome to Nebraska. Sister City. I am a member of Sister City. I'm one of the original members, I would say. It started about 3 years ago. I think it's been about 3 years now. Willie Hamilton, I don't know if he's here or was here, the organizational leader of Black Men United, had a passion to create a sister city relationship between Omaha and a city in Ghana, West Africa. So he sought out individuals that could speak on Ghana, West Africa, and he sought my husband and I out because of what we do, our travels and so forth. We also, I didn't mention earlier, we do have another business. It's actually the spinoff from the tour business that we have. We own an African boutique where we sell African clothing, shea butter, jewelry, all that kind of things. And so when we travel to Ghana, West Africa, sometimes the trip becomes too full. We're doing our tours, but I'm also shopping for the boutique, and we bring our items back to sell. We have partnerships in Ghana, West Africa, where we have vendors where we intentionally go to and we shop with them. So they make money, we come in turn retail it back out here on the American side. But getting back to the Sister City, the Sister City was founded on 5 pillars, and one escapes my mind, but maybe Corinne can remember because she's also part of Sister City. But it was built on 5 pillars: agriculture, tourism, education, tech, and there's one more I cannot remember. So this is what we developed as we're building this interest group. The reason is that, and I don't know if any of you you guys are aware, but Omaha has relationships with other cities in different countries. It's called Sister Cities. And then there's a Sister City International that kind of oversees the sister cities. And in fact, there is on the wall at the airport, there is a map and it indicates which cities have partnerships, which cities in other countries have partnerships in Nebraska, in Omaha. So we, as a group, a collective group, a like-minded group, wanted to see a sister city relationship between Omaha and a city in Ghana, West Africa. So we sought out different cities in Ghana to see where we could make the connections, met with the chief of the towns. We've met with other key individuals, mayors, and so forth to try to build this relationship, and then in turn offer to incorporate these 5 pillars into the culture, into the city, to give back to the city. So it was a means of building relationship, giving back, and in turn maybe bringing them, what that was the other one, was it music or something related to culture, I think it was.
So community, commerce, civil discourse, culture and arts, and international education and exchange.
Okay, good. Okay, so the business aspect, I left out. I wonder why. But anyway, so we wanted to build this relationship so that we could formally create the sister city connection. And so it is still in progress. We've made a lot of leeways into getting this going, moving to the next level. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of back and forth that has happened. And in fact, I believe the most recent one was in Atlanta. They were working on something similar, building a connection, a relationship. In fact, I believe it was Ghana as well. Ghana's like really hot right now, if I could just say that. So if you're really interested in doing business abroad or bringing your nonprofit and connecting it with a nonprofit in Ghana, West Africa, that is the country, that is the go-to country. And there's other great countries as well, but right now, Ghana is in the spotlight. So that's why you're here right now, because it is. But so that's just kind of the gist of Sister City. If you want more details, definitely reach out to Willie Hamilton, Black Men United. He has the Black Men United Ghana on the Ghana side. So we have boots on the ground already over there. So they help kind of facilitate some of the meetings that we've been putting together so that we can try to build this bridge, make connections with the right people, and things like that. And in fact, Willie Hamilton just took Johnny Rogers to Ghana, West Africa. Senator Terrell McKinney went with us in January of this year. So a lot of key individuals have gone. He's, wanting to put together this kind of entourage of key individuals in Omaha that can help make this happen. And so we're still trying to get more individuals to buy into the idea. Not to say it like that, but that has a true interest in Ghana and building this sister city relationship. You do have to have a passion. I mean, if you're going to do anything in life and you want to make a difference, you have to truly, genuinely have passion to want to help, to want to assist, to want to be a part of whatever it is that you're going and you're seeking after. Just like my passion of bringing people to Ghana, West Africa, to share with them what I'm experiencing. I mean, it wasn't just an artificial love for Ghana. It was true. It was genuine. And if you could only see me in my presentations, you could feel it. You could genuinely say, hey, she's really in love with this country and she genuinely wants other people to fall in love. I do. I want people to fall in love with Ghana.
And what is the city that was selected for the sister city relationship with Omaha?
So Salt Pond is the city that's on board right now. We are are trying to put the relationship together, meet the key individuals in Salt Pond. I have not traveled there myself, but we have, like I said, we have boots on the ground already. So those individuals, like the United Ghana, have traveled to Ghana or to Salt Pond, the Salt, S-A-L-T, Pond, P-O-N-D. Yes, Salt Pond.
And what can individuals here do or businesses do to support the effort that's being done to make this happen?
That's a great question. What can you do to help make this a sister city relationship and get it officially approved? I would say learn more about the Sister City Initiative, because like I said, there's 5 pillars. Wherever you see that you fit in with your background, if you're in education, if you're in business, if you're in agriculture, ag is real huge in Nebraska. It's huge. So if we can get someone on board that has an agricultural background, that could really build, because it's nothing but farms over in Ghana, West Africa. It's lots of land, lots of opportunity. I don't know if anyone has already done business in agriculture in just that one space, right? But plenty of opportunity. Or if you're in technology, Tiffany, she could not be here, but she's over there right now. I think she left today. She was just there. Now she's back building a technology foundation with teen girls, to be specific. So whatever your background is, find out if it fits with the 5 pillars that Sister City Omaha has been built on, and bring your expertise. Now, the president of Ghana, West Africa, during the 400 years, inviting the African Americans, African diasporas back to the country, he wants us to bring our expertise, bring our money, bring our background, help build the country, help build it up more and more and more. So if you have a heart to give, bring your background knowledge, bring your skill sets, bring your money, because they need money, they need help, they need things built, and to the country, and help make a difference. I think that we're all here on this earth to make a difference, and it is our God-given talents. God gave us these talents. Why are we not doing anything with it? We need to be out there. We need to be making a difference here in Omaha. We need to be making a difference abroad, whether it be Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, wherever. Let's make a difference with our skill sets. We can't just sit on our loins.
Thank you very much.
That's very informative. Thank you so much. Yes, I will just continue because of the time factors. I would just like to continue with one question that really I would like for you to, and it's going to go to all of you 3.
Did they get to ask questions?
Yeah. I
There's
think
a
probably,
hand up. We do have questions.
yeah, probably after 1 minute, let's say after 2 minutes, then we'll give them the floor to ask you. I would like to ask the cultural aspect to this. What are some of the differences that you think, because you spoke about the legality aspect of it, and those, but the cultural aspect of it, how can the culture back home in Ghana be a magnet to attract people to go and invest in Ghana? I think we'll start with.
I would trust her.
Okay, good.
I would really like to hear from Danny.
Very good. Okay, I go first. Then,
Thank you. Coming to, in terms of the cultural, ethical environments in corporate business in Ghana, I must say, first of all, talk about loyalty, dedication to work. That one, because of the cultural heritage Africans have when it comes to, especially in Ghana, because don't forget, Ghana Ghana is one of the, what do you call it, the first country that had independence in West Africa. Then, when it comes to democracy, when we move from the military government down to civilian rule, the practice of democracy, that was why the then former president of the United States, Bill Clinton, said gateway to Africa. The first city president to come to Ghana and West Africa, and Ghana was a gateway. So coming down to the culture, in terms of the running of business with the foreign partners, culture is always attached in terms of the dressing. When it comes to the dressing, when it comes to the perception about how business is conducted, but the perspective of the United States or the diaspora in regards to the productivity in there, we are learning from the United States of America. We are learning in terms of the corporate governance. We are learning, and a lot of Ghanaians are being sent out there to go and learn from multiple international organizations. So these days you see a number of people who are at work and come back and working with the same companies that sponsor them out. Just like what I was saying, when I was selected to go to Milan in Italy, it was a way of trying to understand the perspective of culture, of corporate governance. So how do we go when it comes to international business? We are dealing with the European partners. We are coming with different perspective from Africa, and the European is coming with different perspective. So what is the center of coming to agree the way forward? So in terms of cultural and ethical behavior of handling corporate governance, improvement has over the years increased compared to the past. In the past, most of the things that are done in corporate governance were done because we had military governments, state-run organizations, where the state made the money and then shared with the state, like kind of socialist. But now we have moved to the center. We have moved. So gradually we are getting there. Thank you.
Thank you. I think if you can give 1 minute.
Okay, I'll speak from the tourism business in terms of the culture. We had to learn a lot. Well, I will say I will, because my husband, he's in the background, he's helping with the logistics of the trip, pulling things together. We've got a whole team on the Ghana side that, and we talk about doing things the right way. This is one area I did not want to mess up in terms of business, because I have other businesses and I've made mistakes. We all do when we have business, but because we're abroad and I wanted to do it the right way, we made sure we had a team on the other side, because I don't know everything about Ghana. I don't know all the culture and all the nuances. So we have a team in Ghana that the lodging. My job is to sell the trip and to collect the money. I can do that. So I had to learn more about the culture. If I'm taking individuals with me from, America that don't know the culture either, it was a responsibility of to learn as much as I could before traveling over there. And of course, I had a strong grip on the culture because I've been married to my husband about 15 years, and I know the food. And my husband, by the way, he is the president of Ghana Friendship Association of Nebraska. So I've been around Ghana for a long time. Right before we were married, we were dating and things like that. So I've learned the word, I don't know the language. I almost so I say, what you say. I know what you're saying. But in terms of taking a look where I needed to know what to expect as far as the culture, because I think we interpret that to my group. So I did a lot of stuff, and trying to see trees, and just so I could a little bit of language, because if you ever travel around in places where they don't speak English, they really appreciate you learning, trying to learn the language or learning language. I'm an ESL teacher, so I taught a lot of Hispanics, Latino, Africans, Koreans, things like that, and they really love it to try to learn the language. So that's just kind of the tidbit. You are going abroad and see another, a country where they speak a different language. Take that one book, or whatever that other word is, and just learn just the, the conversation. That's what I would call it. So I had to take what I knew from the and people meeting before we do a lot of in fact we had twice before we actually take it. So during those correspondence, that's where I'm trying to relate some of the culture and the nuances and the values that of course I've been prior to that. So I knew experience, personal experience, that you have patience. As Americans, we don't have patience. Things happen quickly for us here, but it's not the case in other countries. So those are it's just this one thing. We try to go in there with the same mentality and mindset, the same mindset, but we can't because it is very different. So for example, it's very hot there. Like Ghana. We're used to AC. We're spoiled actually, but not that they don't have AC, but it's not. Traveling through other countries in Ghana, realized that AC that we want to escape the heat. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to complain? Are you going to or are you just going to say, oh, this is the way it is? You have to know. People whine in a minute to Americans, right? But we have to understand that it's going to be different in Ghana. It's going to be different in other countries. You may not do that. We want to go to, like, they have a holiday in there. Like, that's one of my go-to hotels when I'm having a meltdown. I love potato chips. I can't find it everywhere in Ghana. That's another thing. Food. I'm a foodie. I've been having a meltdown. My particular potato chips will be there. That to me, having a meltdown, I had to learn to control that. And so I kind of teach that to my travelers. You have no idea what you want, when you want it. We are in another country. So have great love where they are in your own way. How could you make it? Their fault. We have to just go on with the mindset that this is not America. America's way different than other countries. I don't know what else to say. There's more, but
Well, thank you so much. That was a very positive note for us to start being patient in life with this. So we will now go to our audience and be very, very I'd like to hear from them. If there's anything that they would like to ask our families, please go ahead.
One is a comment. Ghana needs its own airlines. But two, from the logistics side, it's very challenging to get products that small items. And Martine, you probably go with extra cases. But I was surprised when I went to June. I ordered things shipped back to me. And and I found that really interesting that there are not a lot of companies who transport goods and have transport reasons. It wasn't like that. So I don't get me on that either. But if you want to, trade smaller items, it's hard to come. There's a lot of universities, a lot. And I think the flight program would be something that, yes. Flight.
Oh, yeah, next question, you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, yes. My name is Jenny Gaspard. I teach at so, and when I visited, I stayed in Accra and also Amaho.
Thank you very much. That was a very good session and good teaching. And yes, yes. So I think that is an area also. Maybe when there is more competition, prices of and all those people come down. One definitely go to the price which you have to pay for. So we need more competition.
Hello, my name is Nina Suji. I'm the owner of Graphic and Grill. I'm originally from Togo. Africa and America. And my business to do some type of international trade between the two countries. And when I went back to 2015, I visited really connected well with that I can do business here. Those are the skills that but the connection part is all about kind of transition. So I'll go to doctor's question that he asked earlier, is there a particular association of religion, African American with that have all of the resources that one person can go from there? Because as African, I really they will be our friends or family. That I can, if you know, business, have to deal with people that are already actually in that business, the dollars to the dollar. So to have that loyalty, the business that can transition to a person that I can say, okay, if I go to Karen, I can find a good we call it accountant, whatever that is something that I'm looking for. And they are maybe the three of business that really even better, that are in the system. That when I talk to Umoja about $100 million, he's going to freak out like, oh my gosh, you're getting so that kind of business. I think that's what those are looking to be able to okay, invest either $5 or $1 billion. I can be actually my so I don't have to worry about all of this thing or going to the there one. It's BDF, one of those organizations.
Thank you very much. In fact, the discussion is becoming interesting. Yeah, when Dr. said that, I was like, what opportunity and before it was so recent. It's not now we intend to do. But I would like to be here for the next time with Finland, Africa, Kenya. Luckily, she's also a lawyer. The CEO is a lawyer. Not only very experienced lawyers, brilliant lawyers as well are part of it, so that we can, well, it is a special purpose vehicle, so that the counterparts, the legal counterpart will show which position to start for. So that when all these things are crafted law, we are all going to go, as Dr. said, kind of arrangement, and we are going to do that. Because that was my way to arrange was in Ghana. As the regional minister, together with the mayor of Rome, everyone was in the meeting, the chief director, everyone leader, we were all at the meeting. So we are expecting this contact to be before this big acquisition. I mean, the secure all the investment. There is a mutual agreement we are going to go. Our rest. Therefore, this is a private public together to see the way forward to Nebraska Ghana. So that's my rest assured.
To just I'll add a little bit to that. That's a really good question. Actually, and thank you so much, Daniel, for putting up on that, because that was one of the main reasons that we went to Ghana earlier this year to really make trade mission for next year to Ghana. And that's why we put on your table the information about the state trade expansion program so that all of you can have that information and apply it for that part of money so that you can have the resources to go with us on that trade mission next year. It is important for businesses to get trade mission. And when we went to Ghana, we met participating in these conversations with those people was because we recognized that we needed to have the networks in place that you talked about. And we needed to meet public officials, but also with industry associations, other chambers of commerce, right? Because those are the ones that they unite with professionals, also those businesses will be your partners, your counterparts in those countries. So when I was around, along with John Jago as well, as one of our board members, we met with the Ghana industries, we met with EPF, we met with the Chamber of Commerce, we met with the American Chamber of Commerce of Ghana as well. So we met with all these different organizations, talked to them information from our trade mission. So we are working together with the Secretary of State of Nebraska, planning these trade missions for next year. So one where we are working to go to Kenya and Morocco, there will be one where we'll be Togo, Ghana, and also Burkina Faso. There will be information coming out that stay in Togo, you don't wait for the war to look for your weapon, right? You have your weapon first, and you have the bullets ready, right? Before the war begins, right? So that's why we want to make sure that one thing about is so you have to apply, get approved for it. You still have the money yourself to engage in the expenses. Once you come back, we say in order for you to pay it back. Another thing to know is that the funds that the state has, the funds are not needed. They are the earlier you apply for it, the better, so that you can make sure that you are approved and you're using it.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Brianna, and this is my business partner, Shay. We're Care and Expertise Home Care, and we are also going to they come on as well. We are non-medical home care services, and we just want to know how we can in the health industry over there. There is Medicaid here. You guys provide over to provide as well. The families can take, well, I know or understand that they take care of each other in the home, but we can provide income to them so that and still survive.
Yeah, thank you very much. We all have in Africa, specifically Ghana. We have one of the largest national health insurance, which is mandatory for every Ghanaian should have. But in care of something, not every, and in the place in the market, it's helping poor people and also, I mean, the system takes care of you. So other countries come to Ghana to learn how we want to do that. No one out there, people here, it also not about how we are going to do that. Now I'm talking about this currently one of the best universities in Ghana, the University of California, one of the science universities in Ghana, which programs licenses. So we would like to also partner together also have why something at the university, women, into the health sector in the transport available. And a lot of funds to support the development. It's a really establishment and doing very well in logistics. Every year, to the community, before the university. So I'm thinking that the health it will be a good collaboration with that university. Still science, no science. So now discuss the opportunity that has come.
Thank you. Any questions?
Hey, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Christopher McRae, and I own Dynavision Web Development Consulting. So, thank you, Dr. Martin, for hosting this. My question is, I heard a lot about economically how Ghana and specifically Nebraska have been to actually do trade economically. But I think one thing that we perhaps missed or to really talk about some of the things that Martin Williamson which is equally as important as economic development, is the people development aspect of it. So Dr. Martin, if we really want to talk about his long, extensive history of successfully, where it teaches, okay, who am I? Where am I from? When we see where am I from, we're not about home, where am I from? What is my purpose and what was my assignment here? How do you cultivate? How do you look at the world, envision a lot of territory? That is something that I believe is an issue both here. And I say that we have an infrastructure already that has proven to help cultivate you, is how to cultivate more leaders. Do we have anything in place? And if so, would you be willing to some of the programs and infrastructure that we have already? And then just before you answer the question, we have developed different assessments, more importantly, programs too that really help an individual. You know what am I good at? Now that I figure out what am I good at, so these are the things I am good at. So now I go out into the world, I take them in, and then I come back and I take what I've learned and I create that. So what you'll find is if you do that in government, a lot of guys, again, you don't have to bring that around the student, bring back to the country. The same thing here. Is there anything that you have thought about? Because I believe it's equally as important. You bring the economics, bring the jobs, bring the healthcare, you can bring as much as you want, but you don't have the people with the brother money.
That's very insightful question. The first one, I think, so I think Dr. has explained to you. No.
So this, I'll take it. The bottom line is, the question isn't, can a person do business? Bottom line is, who is the person doing it? That person has not been developed. Business won't work at all. So what he's talking about is just the development process and being involved with your nationality and your business owners or business founders. That's it. Is there a place for that?
Thank you. I think you were late coming to the meeting and being all over here for it. I think I said something.
Yes.
Spoke about these people are sent out. We also try to get people out to empower and that is the capacity to how to do it because they investment. Also, when I said that, some people, some countries, go and how we do it, how when we start, this are things we do, and we are of course in Ghana, each and everywhere, people are sent out to get a perspective from that. This is come to Ghana, all this capacity we able to transport farms, there are a lot of successful stories. If you look at Ghana, 10 years, 15 years compared to now, what is happening in Ghana? It's really not good. We are grateful how we used to conduct business, how every year in terms of the legal framework, constitutional amendment, and good, and local leaders, no matter currency, conduct of business, able to match or partner.
Oh, Pastor Eric here, Umoja Nebraska Ghana. You answered many of my questions, so I have to make a question. And I really don't want to put the answer in your mouth because the question you do all the time. I believe it was very perfect. I say before you will invest as if you're going to swim in the sea. I mean, you don't ever swim in the sea. I believe you understand where the come from. Everybody wants to do it when it comes to investing. And that is where I can invest in other countries at ease. Because we know people, we know the that okay, I'm going to start. Though it's very wealthy, and I'm just something that understand everybody. Now, as far as Ghana is concerned, what's the investment policy and law to secure funds to investment? I know there's something called law, free power to extract or to export or to send back your assets you come and your interest. And in other countries, you can't really wire back. What are some of the Ghanaian or government investment policies?
Thank you very much. In terms of Ghana investment commission, why? As an investor, send profits or whatever it is back to your account. Look, these energy companies from the US, we have a two or three of them. US company, we have three of American companies. They are picking their destiny because they have invested in exploration. Every year, to the extent that our people in the country are taking everything out, the investment policy to attract investors to come and invest. Because about 90% of this and the profit is being taken out because there's invested a huge sum of money into that storage, so it was capital intensive. All this will this to be able to come and partner with them. And let me tell you what, in Ghana, this Lebanese, the Arabs will come with little money and then use some of the money to take back to them. Use some of the money. And at the end of every year, they lose the money back to their country. And now we have because the policy of the Ghana investment was relaxed and allowed investors to come and then that's in fact because we are looking for investors. We are looking for investors. That is why people are saying, look, we have liberalized our business. We need to create a system so that we should put about 250 local competition like the one of 250. This also ends in flow. So I don't bring about 50 factory, 50 canoes or one factory. Next time, local company is something that we also to this local, as a local component in that agreement. That's what is relatively very important. But if you are taking your profit, you are able to employ a number of countrymen and women who are working.
One last question.
We got two more.
Yeah.
My name is Tashara Wilson. I am the owner of Kahaba Coffee and I'm also a real estate developer nonprofit. I have a couple questions. When you talk about bringing people together and companies together, how are you bringing, specifically when it comes to affordable housing, how are you bringing those certain industries together to make sure the workforce is there? So if I wanted to invest in housing or real estate or wanted to develop, is the workforce or the labor there to help build that, which also ties into tourism, right? Right. So if I wanted to build a hotel or a strip where we brand, how is that workforce? How is the organization building that workforce of people like that?
Thank you. I think this program has been very fruitful. The kind of questions that I have, and that is a good answer. Thank you. Someone help the cheapest in the country,
Okay.
the cheapest. And labor, yes, takes no less. It would be, let me see, that's a 3 times, 3 times the whole 3 hours working. It really from 15 to 8. So when it comes to labor, friendship in Ghana, in terms of negotiation of the artisans, the business of artisans, and people are looking for them. You know, with their skills. That is why people want to travel out of the country because they don't know what the rest of the country is. To do or whatever, was one job. Now it's clear that one job. It's not all it's clear. But the document will take care of itself. So because of them, that's something. Very good ones. Another one.
I think,
My last question was,
please.
is VDF a membership-based company or anybody who buy shares and part of the business to be able to invest in Ghana?
Thank you very much. It's a membership based. It's a membership based. Yes, a membership based.
Another one.
How much?
Another one.
Or do we have like a?
Fees.
Yeah, the fees.
Yes.
Yeah, Karen, I think,
Do you have videos on social media on YouTube that?
well, at this point, we will definitely, close, our program, because the year, but, is, so closing remarks is going to be by Eunice.
Hi, my name is Jose, and I'm also financial markets financial center manager for Bank of America. I don't know about you, but after all this interesting discussion, I'll be looking my flight on this corner. So I just want to thank Dr. William for hosting this event here, and also thank you for the honor of your historic visit our state, the very first time, we're certainly not the last. Thank you all. Thank you all, people's families, and I think we from them. We are excited to possibility for collaboration between Nebraska and Ghana. Let's continue to work together to foster unity, employment, and development growth in our community. We encourage everyone to stay and take time to network. If you have more questions, you can talk to Mr. Agboka about it, about you enjoying your wine and your food. So let's continue to strengthen our community, by the of course, and then if you have more questions, today, and then for more